Welcome to Tuesday. It's May 7th, 2024. This Day Weather Podcast brought to you by Wyoming State Parks. May is here, and now is the time, the perfect time, to start making plans for those summer adventures. What better place to spend time outdoors than a Wyoming State Park or historic site? Visit wyoparks.org for more information. Well, it's a bumpy ride for everybody. It was for Jim late last week, descending into Bozeman. Wave action, lots of wave action in those clouds there, making for, well, a lot of bumpiness when you go up and through those layers. A strong storm continues to spin up over the northern plains. We'll show it to you here on satellite imagery. It produced a lot of severe weather in the southern plains, especially Oklahoma last night. And now it's just going to sit and wrap moisture around, wind and cold. Basically, waves of moisture will circulate counterclockwise around the low, and that's just going to bring more wind, more cold through the area. More yuckiness is coming here for the next 72 hours. However, we're not all bad news. We are going to see this cold, lousy pattern pretty much all the way through the week in terms of the coolness. The winds will start to noticeably decrease after Wednesday. We will, however, it's looking more and more likely better weather is coming this Mother's Day weekend. And we may see a situation where there's a bit of a pattern change after this storm. After this storm, a pattern change where the colder weather is going to shift more into the eastern side of the nation and the warmer weather comes into the western side. So there's a light at the end of the tunnel, folks. And it doesn't look like it's a train, but we have to get through the next 4 to 5 days here, and we have to look at more images like this from Rock Springs. There's a May photo for you in Wyoming. Snow on tulips and snow on the Tetons. This was from late last week. Rainbows. We had snow. We had high winds. We also had just fabulous clouds. There's a great shot from Jan Curtis and Cheyenne of those angry looking clouds as that low spun up yesterday over the northern plains. And that's a mouthful if you want to describe what you're seeing there with clouds, but there is a lot going on in that photo. And all the turbulence in the atmosphere does make for those high clouds to produce some really nice sunsets. Here's that satellite image. You can really see the comma shape of that storm. This was the severe weather right here, severe thunderstorms that overnight wreaked a lot of havoc. And you can see the strength of this system pulling moisture all the way up and bringing it all the way up into south central Canada. Then the counterclockwise rotation of the low spinning up right there. As we showed you yesterday, and we'll show you here in the animation of the precipitation forecast, the moisture is going to get wrapped back around. So the second round of precipitation will develop later tonight and into Wednesday. We had many areas in northern Wyoming that had well over 2 inches of rain, such as Gillette, and about an inch of rain or more around the Sheridan and Buffalo areas, and up into south central and southeast Montana. Many areas over 2 inches of rain, and more is coming. Also on the satellite imagery, you can see these clouds right here. These are the strong jet stream winds coming in on the back side of it. That's going to make for the windy conditions to persist. So there's the low center where it will be as of noon today. And notice by tomorrow, it shifts south, but basically doesn't really move out too much. So with this shifting south, the wraparound moisture gets pushed a little bit further south. And then by Thursday, the main low breaks off and starts to accelerate finally and moves into the Great Lakes. This is going to really help diminish the winds considerably. So by late Wednesday into Thursday morning, the winds will drop off quite a bit. This piece of energy does get held back and will likely be what will cause a little bit of thunderstorm activity in the region Sunday into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week as this main piece moves off and this high starts to build in. And this is going to lead to that change in the weather, that better weather pattern that is going to come on up in the longer term because there's a bit of a flip coming. Now let's animate the precipitation forecast, and you can see the moisture surges southward slowly. So this is today through tonight and into tomorrow. Then into Thursday there, you can see that as the low sinks south, so does the moisture as the storm slowly weakens. But there's going to be more rain and snow up into those northern areas today and then moving south. What you see on that last frame, if you look here, will be some shower activity, and that's left behind from that low that gets cut off later on. So we'll have to deal with that later in the weekend and early next week. But all of this messiness is going to be around here for another 72 hours, and that's your cumulative precipitation forecast through Friday. The heavy moisture still favoring those northern areas of Wyoming, Montana, central areas of Wyoming, lighter amounts on the backside of it. So that gets us through Friday. This is where the snow is going to fall. So the Black Hills, the Bighorns, Montana's mountains, most of the mountain ranges are going to be picking up a little bit more spring snow as that moisture wraps back into the area. And yes, here are the wind gusts forecast through the day on Wednesday. Although I don't see the wind gusts hitting the 70s and 80s like they did yesterday in some areas, 40, 50, 60 mile per hour wind gusts are going to be commonplace through today, through the day on Wednesday. But as I show you here in the animation, over time, if you look at the date up here, you're going to see that by the time we get into the weekend, the wind speeds are going to decrease quite a bit. What I'm showing you are the wind gusts. So the predicted wind gusts, and you can see there's a high intensity of wind gusts early in the frames right there. Then they slowly evolve and start to slowly dissipate. But we've got to get through the next 48 hours to suffer through the wind a little bit more. But it will get better. Starts this weekend. This is Mother's Day Sunday. The low, the cold low, is off now into the northeastern United States. This high pressure is wanting to build in. This is that little piece of energy that's been left behind. That's just going to hang around through Monday. So what will happen is Sunday and Monday, there's going to be a counterclockwise circulation, although it weak around this low. This is going to draw some moisture in. And with warmer air, and I'll show you in a minute, it's really going to warm up a lot in this area right here by the weekend. The warmer temperatures will bring back that spring-like feel. That could cause some instability. And there's going to be, ahead of this low, some afternoon shower and thunderstorm activity late in the weekend and into the early parts of next week. But the main jet stream flow goes north. That cuts us off from Canada. So we're going to have an opportunity to warm up. And there we are. These are the high temperatures forecasted Saturday. So this should make you feel better. Look at the warmth coming back into the region Saturday. And just in time for Mother's Day, really not looking all that bad. 80s getting up further now into the parts of the Midwest, and warmer temperatures both sides of the Continental Divide come on in. So things are looking better, but we just have to get through the next 72 to 96 hours before they really do. And you can see the pattern change. This is by next Thursday. A broad area of high pressures over the west, more of the low pressures in the east. So warmer days are coming. Just got to get over this hurdle. Have yourself a good Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow.